Oh, hey y'all, this is Fernando. Obviously, the title of the video says it all. This is from something that happened to me back in November 4th of 2008. I got sick. Long story short, I got sick. I had to have a triple bypass. It was a 7-hour surgery. The surgery went perfect. It was what happened after that. Okay, first of all, before I even tell you even a little bit about it, I want you to know I don't want anything from you. I don't really care if you believe me or not. Uh, I don't got nothing to sell you. I'm not trying to convert you. I don't want anything from you. The reason that I'm telling you about this is because this is something very unique that happened to me. It was terrifying, but at the same time, it was something that woke me up to the world that we live in. Because I never used to pay attention to some of the things that I talk about now. Um, with that being said, I'll give you the short version of it, and we'll go from there. Uh, like I said, the surgery went fine. A little scar there. Got it. It's pretty long. Uh, I went to. I went into. I'm not going to go into detail about it. There's some other strange little things that happened that day, but I'm just going to give you the actual event. I had got that Friday. I started getting lungs. I mean, fluid developing in my lungs, and they started. My O2 saturation started to drop. I started noticing I couldn't catch my breath, and as the day went on, the doctor came in, and he was pretty concerned about it. He thought that, he said that it must have. What he said exactly was, it must not be as bad as it looked because you don't look like you're in distress. And I said, well, thanks a lot, man. He goes, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're developing a lot of fluid in your lungs. He goes, we're gonna pump you full of antibiotics, and hopefully that'll help you out. Anyways, I ended up getting a therapist go in there and try different kind of cannulas. That wasn't getting it done, and so they ended up putting a ventilator. You know what I'm saying? And the main thing that happened was, if this was later on in the night, way later, man, I felt like I've never felt like that bad. I felt so bad I wanted to die. You know what I'm saying? And I remember laying in the bed, and I just said, I can't take this. Just take me. And I closed my eyes. The next thing you know, I see a light. I thought it was somebody that had walked into the room, and turned the light on. I realized later, man, that light was incredibly bright. I could see it through my eyelids. It's not like when you lay down, and your light in your room is on and you do that. You know that it's there because you can, you put your hand there, but it's whenever you can't really see it. This one you could. And I think I was about to open my eyes, man, and I started to fall through the bed. It felt like my bed opened up from underneath me. I fell for a little bit. I was like, what the? And it happened so fast. I mean, it happened fast. I couldn't do anything. And I remember something grabbed me. It felt like a big hand. It may not have been a big hand, but that's what it felt like. And it felt like I got thrown down. Like a ball. You know what I'm saying? And so I was sitting there, and as I was falling, and I remember it was like dark, like a normal dark. And then it changed into something else. You fall through darkness. That it was like a swirling black. That's the only thing that I can use to describe that, man, because it wasn't like a normal dark. It was like swirling, like it was touching me. You know what I'm saying? It was creepy, man. It was terrifying. And I closed my eyes. I couldn't even look at it. I even put my arm over my eyes, man, and then boom. It felt like I hit bottom. I hit something really hard. I opened my eyes, man, and there was like had landed on this big rock. And I remember as I stood up, man, I was clutching at my chest, and I heard a voice, and it was like it said to me how hard it had thrown me down. And then I remember as I looked up, I saw like rocks, like I was in a big giant, like a cave or a chasm of some kind. I was inside the earth. That's what I distinctly remember. And I remember as I turned. Well, here's something weird. When that voice, spoke to me, it was of a young male voice. And I remember when I had first got up, man, I was tripping. I was horrified, terrified. I didn't know what was going on. It felt like somebody had come and ripped me out of this world and threw me down into another one. That's what it felt like. And I didn't know what was going on. And when that voice spoke, man, it just stopped. And then, when it, as I looked around, I started noticing things like there was like this dim yellow light all around. And, it looked like I was inside of like I said, a cave or a chasm. And I could see rock and dirt, and there was these iron bars. It was like a yard of some kind. And there was like in front of me, when I looked straight in front, there was like this building, but it looked like one of those old dungeons you see in the movies, right? I remember that very distinctly, man. And there was a door. There was a door there, an opening. And as I was looking at it, man, somebody just walked by. I mean, like fast. And I looked to see who it was, and there was this man, and he covered a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. And and as I took a step to him to go see who it was, to talk to them, they turned around and, I mean, unnaturally, it was really weird. And as I walk up to him, man, real slow, I noticed that I recognized this person. Only he didn't ever look this way when I knew him. And as I get closer to him, I see that he has his legs. He's young looking, vibrant. His hair is jet black. He's no wrinkles. It was my dad. And I was like, Dad, it's me, Dad. And he just had his hands up, man. He never said a word, and it didn't even look like he knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? And so when I reached out to him, I guess you're not allowed to touch people there. Because when I reached out to him to touch him, man, as the skin on my fingers was about to make contact with his skin, that same light just boom, like exploded between us. I mean, an explosion, no sound or nothing. It just, and I distinctly remember going up, and I was back in my room. Look, number one, I know what that sounds like. I know that sounds crazy, but you know what? It's something that did happen to me. I don't have to lie about it, man. I don't have nothing to gain except people calling me crazy or a liar or stupid or something. My first follow-up visit, man, that was something really traumatic that had happened to me, and I wanted to know if there was any medication or something the doctors had been giving me. I asked the doctor, I said, hey man, did you give me anything that would have made me hallucinate? And he goes, why, did you see something? He said it just like that. I said, no. He goes, no sir. He goes, I didn't give you anything that would have made you hallucinate or anything like that. I said, okay. I've been to churches and I've talked to Christian folks about this. This is not something that is popular amongst the people in the church. Okay? It is not something that ordinary people don't like to talk about. But I tell you, man, Gallup poll says that there's 3 million Americans, adults, not children, adults. It's not something that is common, but it's not rare. I'm telling you that this happened because I want you to understand, or at least get you to think, that there are some things that we can't explain that happen every day, and that there's more to it than what we're being led to believe. And man, I hope you get something out of it. I hope that I've helped you in some way or fashion to let you at least think about this, because inside of you is something that survives death. Okay, and I know that place, ever since that day, man, I started to learn about the Lord, and where I had gone is in the scriptures, or at least it is to me. I mean, it sounds like it. I guess it depends on your interpretation of scripture. But man, I hope it helps, and God bless.